There lived a young woman named Emily who was a seeker. She yearned to connect with something greater than herself, but amidst the noise and distractions of the modern world, she often felt lost and alone. She searched for answers to questions she could not even articulate. One day, Emily felt a sudden urge to seek solace in nature while sitting alone in her apartment, her mind buzzing with thoughts and worries. She left behind the confines of her urban surroundings and ventured into the nearby forest, hoping to find peace amidst the towering trees and babbling brooks. As Emily wandered deeper into the forest, she felt a calm wash over her, quieting the constant chatter that had consumed her mind for so long. She closed her eyes and allowed herself to be enveloped by the gentle embrace of nature, feeling the earth beneath her feet and the sunlight filtering through the leaves above. In that moment of stillness, Emily felt a subtle yet undeniable presence, a voice that seemed to whisper to her from the depths of her soul. It was a voice unlike any she had ever heard, one that spoke not in words but in feelings and impressions. The voice guided her along a path of inner exploration and self-discovery. As Emily listened, she started to perceive the world around her in a new light. The rustle of the leaves became a symphony of whispers, each carrying a message of wisdom and insight. The gentle caress of the breeze became a gentle touch from the divine, reminding her that she was never truly alone. In the following days, Emily was repeatedly drawn back to the forest, eager to commune with the mysterious presence that had captured her heart and soul. With each visit, she felt herself growing more attuned to the subtle rhythms of nature, learning to trust in the guidance of the divine that spoke to her through her mind. However, it was not only in the forest that Emily heard the whispers of the divine. During quiet moments of meditation, she received messages and insights that seemed to come from beyond her mind's confines. Although these insights were not always easy to understand, Emily knew they held the key to unlocking the mysteries of her soul. As Emily delved deeper into her spiritual journey, she began to understand that God speaks to us not only through grand gestures and dramatic miracles, but also through the whispers of our hearts and minds. In the moments of stillness and solitude, Emily felt the presence of the divine most strongly, guiding her along a path of growth and transformation. With each passing day, Emily felt more aligned with the will of the divine, trusting in the guidance that flowed through her mind and soul. She knew her journey was far from over, but she also knew she was not alone. The whispers of the divine would always be there to light her way. Therefore, as Emily stood beneath the forest's canopy, her heart filled with gratitude and awe, she whispered a silent prayer of thanks to the divine that had guided her along her path. Emily knew that in the whispers of her mind, she had found a connection to something greater than herself, a connection that would sustain her through all the trials and tribulations of life. Have you ever discussed with yourself where you took one side of an argument and then the other? If so, consider this. If you can have a conversation with yourself in your mind, then you should be able to comprehend that God can speak to you through your thoughts too. However, the problem is that our minds are often unreliable due to the amount of junk we have filled them with, making us question His ability to communicate through our thoughts. But once God redeems us, He begins to renew our minds. Have you ever experienced a situation where you suddenly thought of someone you haven't been in touch with for years, and then bumped into them later that day or week, or saw something about them on social media? Or you have had random thoughts about something a friend or acquaintance should do. These impressions often serve as cues to pray for or encourage others. Our human mind is responsible for thinking, imagining, remembering, willing, sensing, and experiencing perception, pleasure, pain, belief, desire, intention, and emotion. The subconscious and unconscious mind operate automatically, so any change can only occur through the conscious mind's power of self-determination. Therefore, to improve our mental abilities, we must regularly provide our minds with enriching and nourishing content to strengthen and enhance them. To set the mind on the flesh leads to death, but setting the mind on the Spirit leads to life and peace. Do not conform to this world. Transform yourself by renewing your mind. Through testing, you can discern God's will, which is good, acceptable, and perfect. Feelings are emotional states or reactions to a thought or perception of an event that occurs within the body. They incline us towards or away from things that come before our minds, moving us to action. Feelings act as early warning systems, allowing us to feel things in our bodies before our conscious mind processes them. God created us to feel strong emotions. We are not just thinking beings, but feeling beings with passions, raw emotions, and desires. However, many of us have never learned how to interact with our feelings healthily. Some of us were taught to repress or stuff our emotions, while others were taught to live solely from our feelings. The key to emotional health is finding a balance between these two extremes. We need to understand why God gave us feelings, how to process and understand them, and how He speaks to us through them. As we learn to draw out our feelings, name them, and understand them, we become more present in our world, ourselves, and our relationship with God. To feel is human. To minimize or deny what we think is a distortion of what it means to be image bearers of God. To the degree that we cannot express our emotions, we remain impaired in our ability to love God, others, and ourselves well. God may speak to us through others. Sometimes we may have experienced moments when a friend or even a stranger says something we need to hear. These instances can remind us that we need each other and no one is self-sufficient. Our friends, family, and colleagues often see things we cannot. Often, we become so trapped in our thoughts that we start to overthink our problems and feel stuck. Other people can offer a new perspective on the situation. They can point out things we may have yet to see or ignore. Our loved ones can help us understand if we're in a bad relationship or making hasty decisions. They can also remind us that we should remember to live in the present moment and enjoy life to the fullest. Sometimes, when we interact with or pray for someone, we may experience a feeling related to something in their body. This feeling could be an impression from God. We can ask the person if the feeling we are experiencing is correct. If not, we can let it go. Additionally, God may speak to us through our emotions, allowing us to feel what someone else is experiencing or what God thinks towards someone we are ministering to. It is important to remember that God's thoughts towards people are always filled with love, grace, protection, joy, conviction, forgiveness, mercy, and comfort. God desires to establish a personal relationship with us. God always provides us with what we need the most, but not necessarily what we think we need the most. Our greatest need is to know God. More than guidance, inspiration, information, or answers, we need to know God. God communicates with us through prayer, which is not just a one-sided monologue where we ask for what we need. Instead, prayer is a two-way dialogue where we talk to God and He talks to us. As we pray, God shifts our focus from ourselves to His love and power. Through prayer, God shapes our perspective to align with His purposes, establishes the priorities for our lives, and guides us toward the truth. We should be diligent in seeking God and paying attention to the work He is doing in and around us, as He also speaks to us through our circumstances. God uses our emotions to connect with us, helping us understand ourselves and our humanity while drawing us closer to Him. Dear God, I am grateful for the beauty and diversity of the world You have created for us and the different ways You communicate with us. Today, I ask for Your help tuning into the impressions You place in my heart, and I pray for discernment and faith as I act upon them. Thank You for Your guidance and blessings. By the grace given to me, I urge everyone among you not to think of themselves more highly than they ought to, but to think with sober judgment, each according to the measure of faith that God has assigned. Our access to understanding is inherited from the divine. Everything we see and experience originates from our deep connection to God and our obedience to His ideas. Thank you for watching. Please like, share, and subscribe for more.